Hey Libra, welcome to your reading. It's Empress Rose here. These are general readings, so we take what works and we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, go check your other major placements, your Sun, Moon, Rising, and possibly Venus too. And I'm going to post pictures at the end of the spread. So we're going to start with this Oracle of Mystical Moments deck, which I love so much. Some of these cards have to do with specific events in your life, possibly going on right now, and others are just kind of true in general. But when we get those cards, it's the deck asking us to particularly look at this thing. There are many things to look at. There are many things that are true in life, and sometimes we just need to focus. You know, this is the deck pointing out where a focus needs to be. Okay, you've made some choices to not communicate and to be stagnant, even though you're still focused on what you want. So here's the observer energy. We're observing something at a distance, possibly some internet snooping or something like that, but we're very focused on something, and we're observing it closely. We might be getting a little distracted from time to time, and that's okay, but we are overall very committed to it. And we've got some ideas. It's creating a lot of activity in our minds of ways that we can possibly bring some things into reality. There's a reason why we're focusing on this, and our intuition is causing us to want to be a little more focused than usual on something in our future, something we're committed to. And if you get a little distracted or whatever, that's fine, not a problem. Because it's not really interrupting your overall commitment. It's just, we don't want to be staring at what we want, staring it down in the future and just like being so focused on it. We got to get a little distracted. Watch Pot Never Boils, as we were talking about earlier in another reading that you probably didn't watch. So watch Pot Never Boils, and the act of observing something, we know from physics, can actually change the dynamics itself. So you might be changing the dynamics. I don't know how that works, like with social media or anything like that. I don't know how that works on a macro level, but I've read this stuff on the micro level or on the quantum level. Okay, so home in the sky here. This is a choice to not go anywhere, stagnating, staying home, hanging out, waiting for something to happen. Again, you've got just a little bit of intuition here. You've got a bit of a stuck, stagnant situation. We've got smog here, so that's just air stagnation right there. So we have like not a lot of movement, maybe even not a lot of movement of spirit, not feeling very enthusiastic or excited about something. This isn't going to last forever, but it is for now. You could fly somewhere, you could chirp, you could communicate a lot of things, but you're not. You'd rather stay comfortable. You're really in your comfort zone right now. Or you'd like to be, and you'd like to stay there for now in the comfort zone. You're not quite ready to be moving on, but have no fear. The spirit will be moving things along at some point. The fog doesn't last. I mean, I did live someplace with, it bragged, 10 months a year of sunshine. Who wouldn't like that, But the cost was 2 months straight of fog in the winter. Literally not seeing the sun a single day for 2 months straight. So yeah, anyway, so this isn't going to last forever, although it might seem like it does, but there is some stagnation and you're participating in it. There's something about you not wanting, here we've got 3 cards here of you not doing things. Watching, listening, frustration. You're watching something, you're staying put, you're not taking action. You're staying in your comfort zone here. You're feeling very at home, but things are up in the air. Like you're kind of feeling a little at home, even though there's not like a lot of certainty or settledness. You're just like, okay, I guess I'm here now. So, yeah, your things are up in the air and you're not really in a hurry to resolve them. Even though you might want to resolve them, you're more just watching and waiting. There's a definite watching and waiting vibe here. And then, can you hear me? This is frustration about being understood, being seen. You've grown a lot. You've grown a lot as a person. You've grown a lot in the way you communicate. You're not sure if anybody's hearing that, observing that, appreciating that. You're not hearing back from people. You're just, there's a communication. Again, we've got fog, we've got stagnation. You've grown, but you're having some difficulty with some communication, and you're basically just sitting here, not even trying anymore. It's like, well, I blew my conch shell, called over, yelled, tried to communicate, nothing happened, and I don't know what to do now. So this is kind of just a wait and see vibe. Oh my gosh, literally, if these could be combined all into one little phrase, it's wait and see. And it's a choice you're making. Wait and see. Fun energy. Wait and see. Who doesn't love that energy? Just gonna sit here and wait and see. I mean, it can be a little... I mean, you're choosing it. You're choosing it, so that's good. You do feel empowered to stop trying to do something. I mean, I think it's because you've been trying to make something happen and it's not happening. It hasn't happened. So now you're just sitting back and watching. Because spirit's got to come through here and move these balloons. That's how balloons move, right? Air, spirit. Something's got to come through if anything here is going to change. So wait and see. Some level of frustration involved. And disappointment or exhaustion. Real party. All right, here Libra, here's your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. All right, in your past, you have this Ace of Wands, recent past. You have this exciting, brand new beginning coming in, very fun, new, something was maybe offered to you, was very inspiring, and maybe had to do with arts or hobbies, or just an inspiring new beginning, something very exciting, a connection, could be, you know, a sexual connection, relationship connection here, bringing a lot of new life to a situation, sort of bridging a gap from sort of wilderness to civilization, something like that. Very, very exciting opportunity coming in. In your present situation, though, you've got a nightmare now. So I don't know what happened to that opportunity. It maybe came in and wasn't what you wanted, or it just never came in and kind of fizzled out. So now you've got a lot of worries and anxieties here. You're technically safe in your bed. Your brains might be playing some tricks on you. This is the Nine of Swords is called the Nightmare card. So you've got some frustration, some fears you're dealing with. Your current situation is kind of... You're supposed to be resting, but instead of resting, you're worrying. You're supposed to be feeling at home here, but you're not. You're kind of... She's a little worried here too, right? She's a little frustrated and worried. So you're worried, you're frustrated. Yeah, your current situation is definitely not what you wanted. But you are technically safe. The worries, and it's more like overthinking things and trying to figure things out and being frustrated and maybe depressed and anxious here. Your inner landscape, more real fun energy. I mean, we started out with this real fun energy, and then now we got a nightmare card. We've got frustration, stagnation, wait and see. Real fun energy here in your inner landscape. This is the High Priestess, but she is very spiritual, hopes, fears, and sort of ideas your psyche is dealing with right now. It would be oriented around the High Priestess, oriented around spirituality, finding the answers within. Her crown chakra is wide open, so she's got some spiritual insights here that she's hoping to find, because there's not a lot of clarity in the environment. So the High Priestess here in your inner landscape, you could be, the book's closed, all information is already known. What's known what can be known is already known, and the rest is done. We're done talking about it. We're done communicating something. You could be afraid that's what's going on, that whatever existed has existed, and that's it. That's all there is. That's all you're ever going to get, because the book is closed. So that's all the communication you may be getting, and you might be a little worried about that's it. The High Priestess also talks about she doesn't want to show you the way, because if she showed you the way and told you where you were going, you might either leapfrog over a bunch of steps and get there, thereby ruining it once you got there to the final destination, or not the final destination, but because there's only one final destination here in this life. But if you got to, the point C, if she said, it reminds me of someone seeing a story I heard once of someone seeing a tarot reader when they were in their 20s or 30s, and the tarot reader said that they would be very famous and very wealthy. Probably a little bit of a scam artist, tarot reader. It's ridiculous to imagine that this field would not have those, just like every other field. So, not that you're not going to be rich and famous, but, someone tells you that. And so instead of doing anything about developing their talents, developing their gifts, working on their career, they literally just sat back and waited for the fame and fortune to find them. And so whether or not this was, someone just feeding someone's ego and what they wanted to hear, or was someone really reading what the cards were saying at the time, the lesson is that being told that they were going to be rich and famous perhaps eradicated the entire pathway to getting there, because they just jumped to the end, like, oh, okay, good, I don't have to do anything because this is already fated and already going to happen. So the High Priestess is here to... She doesn't want to tell us how to get there. She doesn't want to tell us where we're going. She doesn't want to tell us how we're getting there, because there's something along the way that's very important that actually creates the final situation. So, if the reading had been different, like if the reading had been like, you need to really develop your singing skills, and then, and then this is the result, then maybe they would have taken the steps that they needed to take to become rich and famous, or whatever they thought was going to happen. So this is a bit of like, she's not going to tell you, because she doesn't want you to know, because there's the path, the result is created by the path itself. So you need to be following the path. So this is something that you're dealing with in your psyche. You might be afraid of this, of just like, of not seeing able. This is the things that are hidden and the things that are meant to be hidden from you on purpose. So you might be worried about those things. These things that are hidden from us, they do kind of, when I know someone's lying to me, it creates so much anxiety. I may not know exactly what they're lying about, or their motivation for lying, because there's a lot of motivation, some of them okay, some of them not okay. I may not know any of that, but the sense of me not knowing something and not knowing the truth creates anxiety for me. So this could be sort of in here of like, I don't know. I know there's probably something to be known, but I don't know how to find it, and I don't know it. So you're dealing with sort of intuition in your inner landscape and your psyche, and sort of what that means, and what you don't know and what you do know, and sort of working with some hopes and fears there around spirituality, because spirituality is all very like having faith in things, and it's by its very nature, it is a not knowing field. It's not a scientific field. It's not a mathematical field. It's not even English, where you can like at least read the sentences and discuss like sentence structure. Like it's just like this kind of far out thing. So you could be dealing with issues around spirituality and faith. And then what's at issue here is this Three of Wands. So Three of Wands, and sometimes I know I should read ahead, but then I also, it's this High Priestess thing. If I read ahead, do I get all the little points in between that I need to explore and understand in order to have the following card be better understood? So this Three of Wands here, this is about faith. This is about having so much faith that you get out of bed half naked in the cold morning and you go stand out on a precipice and watch the sunrise, because it's that level of faith that the sun is going to rise, which it will for the next trillion years. It's going to rise every morning. It's just a planetary cosmic thing that's going to happen. So he has so much faith in his ships coming in and in what is his and what's coming towards him, that he's willing to stand out here and watch for it. Like, he got up super early. He did not sleep in. He got up early and he went out to the precipice to get a good view, because he wants to be the first to see his ships coming in. And he knows they're coming in. He's so confident he didn't even sleep in. He didn't even get his coffee before he ran out here. But in the reverse, we're talking about a lack of faith and a lack of trust in your intuition. So lack of faith and lack of trust in what's yours would be coming, is going to be coming in. Yeah, I can see that though. Look at this. You've tried, and now you're starting to lose faith that this is ever going to happen. That this is going to happen for you. You're feeling very stagnant. It's not really going anywhere. And so you're starting to lose some faith. In your environment is a similar stagnation situation, choosing. This is the Hanged Man. This is, things are happening. Things are happening, but you can't see it. Again, we've got the High Priestess. We've got things you can't see, and it's probably creating some anxiety for you. Things are happening. Things are being loosened. Sort of this stuck vibe. So this is like the wind is blowing, and it's going to blow to you, but it's going to take a long time. You don't realize that the breeze that's going to move you has already begun someplace far across the Pacific Ocean. And it's making its way across to you, but you're not experiencing that. You're experiencing the stagnation and the frustration and the lack of faith that's coming with this. Of course, you're experiencing some lack of faith because nothing is moving. It doesn't appear to be moving, but the Hanged Man is all about untying the knot. And untying the knot is a very sedentary activity, and things do not look like they're happening. They don't look like they're happening, but they are. So in your external environment, it looks like nothing's happening. This is why you're losing faith. Looks like nothing's happening, but behind the scenes, something is happening. Something is being freed. Something is being let loose and unencumbered. But you cannot see it because it is external to you, and you don't have the information. You can't see it, even though you're observing and watching. You're watching and waiting. You're not seeing it happen. The breeze is coming, and that's what I said when I first got this card. The breeze is coming. The movement will happen. You just can't see it, and you've lost faith and are very frustrated. What's your to-do list? Focus on what you've got. Focus on your work. Focus on, get curious about what you do have. What is in front of you? So it's an interesting, I think that's a fine way to deal with faith, though. Because we talk about, health, being grateful for things, and we're grateful. You can be grateful for your health and not be in good health. You can be grateful for the measure of health that you do have. You do have some level of health because you're still alive. So you can be grateful for what you do have. And I'm getting a little bit from that Page of Pentacles. It's being grateful for what you do have, for the things you have accomplished, for the things you have achieved, for the money that you have earned, for the job you do have, getting curious and fascinated with what you do have, with the work in front of you right now. Just being very focused on the here and now and what you have to do right now and what's in your life right now. Being focused, being curious, allowing yourself to become absorbed. This is a lot of this, becoming absorbed. They're both very absorbed with something and watching something and curious. The Page is the learner. The Page is learning about things. So it could be going back to a beginner mind with some sort of job or work situation or money situation, getting into the beginner's mind here. And becoming fascinated with something external to you. So the Pentacles are all external. So I think, getting out of this, I think this is saying, this lack of faith in this whole situation, it is sort of a watched pot never boils thing, with the anxiety and stuff like that, getting out of your head. Getting out of your head and getting physical, getting into the physical world, getting into your work, getting into your job, just doing anything to get out of your head and to get out of the stagnated place in your mind. At least don't let the stagnation may be going around you, may be external to you, but don't let your mind be stagnant. Don't let your thoughts be stagnant. Paying very close attention to your work, and to how you earn your money, and just focusing on that for a while, taking your focus focus. I mean, we were talking about this observer. Okay, yeah, there's something out here that you really want. But see, you know, it was like she's not paying attention to it 100% of the time because of that watch pot never boils thing and that too close of observation. And I think there's also about Abraham Hicks talks about how when you're really focused on something, you can kind of mess with it in your mind. So getting your focus onto something else, whatever this thing is that you're losing faith in and frustrated in, just focus on something else, because you're not going to do the energy around that any good by having anxiety, by being up in your head, by overthinking it, by getting frustrated with it, and just really focusing on what you don't have. So this is, you know, just focus on what you do have, change the energy, change things around, allow yourself to get distracted by something else, because she's focused on something she wants, but she's also getting distracted in it. Remember at the beginning, I was like, that's fine. Because if we're overly focused on one thing. So shift your focus onto something else, do something else, focus on your work. If this isn't related to work already, and get focused on something, and learn about something new, yeah. And then the energy you're possibly going into is this devil energy. So this is funny because it's like focus on something, be the observer, but be distracted, focus on something else. Devil energy is a warning about obsession. This is anything that gets between us and our life path. This devil energy can be helped with a sense of surrendering to the desires that come up within us, surrendering to the path being revealed as we travel it, not being obsessed with some sort of outcome. So this is coming in as an obsession. The devil energy separates us from our true path, separates us from our inner knowing by being obsessed with something external to us. So this is a warning of a possible energy you could be heading to. I mean, we're saying focus on something, but I think we're saying focus on something else. Otherwise, you're going to get obsessed, and it's going to create more problems with this. And your lack of faith is just going to grow. Your lack of faith will grow with obsession, with continuing to fiddle with something. So letting go of the obsession, this happens a lot with, this can be easier described as surrendering to something or letting something unfold naturally, including your own desires and your own emotions and your own dreams. So the change is coming, but just don't get too attached. Don't get too attached to the stagnation you're experiencing or to the lack of faith. And addiction. The devil is addiction energy, so be watching out for addictions and obsessions. And just change your focus if you find yourself getting too frustrated or too discouraged by something. Just do something else for a while. All right, so Libra, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments, and I hope you have a great week.